Beautiful piece of hitting.
All right.
Look how explosive that swing is.
Everybody on that bench, watch the way this guy plays the game.
Riley unloads. How far's that one going?
That's a big hit for Joey Wendell.
Lead retired. He got it.
Slides and he makes the catch.
How about the youth movement in Atlanta tonight?
It's a Marlins walk-off win.
Well, it's a Friday night matchup, one of the best in the National League, taking on the Braves, who are hungry tonight. Sandy Alcantara and the veteran Charlie Morton set to face off tonight, a matchup that you absolutely don't want to miss. Let's go and take a look at what's on deck for this evening. Sandy Alcantara, does he take home the Marlins' first ever Cy Young Award? He has certainly posted the numbers to get himself there. He continues to lead in innings, but he's going up the Braves, who can try to run it back again. They have not done this since New York, but they've brought in some of the talent that brought home that championship in 2021, and they've got what they can do it again in 2022. We'll also be joined by former Major League umpire Brian Gorman. He breaks down all the rules, interprets the plays that might be a little tricky, and he's going to give us that inside look behind the curtain as the Braves take on the Marlins tonight. Charlie Morton out on the mound this evening. The vet has seen 3 World Series with 3 different teams in his last 5 years. The Braves are hoping to make it 4. We'll take a look at that lineup and who he's facing this evening. Joey Wendell leads things off for the Marlins. Brian Anderson is batting second, the designated hitter, Garrett Cooper. The young J.J. Bleday cleans it all up. He's in center field. Charles LeBlanc is the second baseman. Jacob Stallings behind the dish this evening. He'll be batting 6th. Lewin Diaz, your first baseman, batting 7th. Gerard Encarnacion is in left, and Miguel Rojas, the shortstop, rounds it all out. He is batting .310 when he faces Atlanta this season. So yes, the Marlins numbers might not look formidable, but they've got a little grit underneath that lineup. Charlie Morton knows them well. It's his 21st career start against the Fish. And Russ, I mean, again, this is a guy who just finds ways. He keeps reinventing himself. He comes out harder and better as he gets older. You don't see that very often.
Absolutely, and he's the veteran of a very young pitching staff, and you mentioned it. He's reinvented himself multiple times. He loves that curveball, throws it more than anybody else in the big leagues, but he's consistent, been a model of consistency ever since he's been in the league, and you need that consistent guy every 5th day.
You did look there at manager Don Mattingly and skip for the Braves, Brian Snitker. You'll see the yellow ribbons on everybody today, yellow accessories. It is Childhood Cancer Awareness Day, the 7th annual hosted for Major League Baseball. Morton a look in at Joey Wendell. First pitch swinging out towards left, and a nice gift starts things off for the fans.
You see Morton attacking the strike zone immediately. And Wendell was ready, just a little late on that fastball.
You know, guy's going to be around the plate. Hey, don't let him get ahead.
75 degrees here. We appreciate Atlanta cooling off considerably for some Friday night baseball. Wendell on the ground again. Grissom is there to first. And Braves defense makes it look easy. Let's go and take a look at what Charlie Morton brings to the plate. This is StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud as we look at his pitch usage.
5-pitch mix for Charlie Morton. Curveball, 4-seamer, cutter, sinker, and changeup. And I mentioned that curveball. He throws it more than anybody else in the big leagues, but he can get ahead, throw it in any count, and he's just been a model of consistency. 38 years old, still doing it at a high level with a young staff. We saw what Spencer Strider did last night, and Charlie's like, hey, I can still do it.
He brings in a lot of postseason experience that guys like Strider are going to flourish underneath, as it's a fastball strike to Brian Anderson, the right fielder, 3 for 8 facing Morton, 234 on the season. Out towards center. Michael Harris, the second, playing back at the track. It keeps going right at the wall. Allowed out for Brian Anderson, but it's 2 away all the same for Charlie Morton.
And Los, that ball had some carry. It looked like a routine fly ball. You just see Michael Harris drifting. And I think he thought that ball was going to die a lot sooner than the wall.
It definitely was a loud sound, the crack of the bat, but Harris was able to run that down. Keep in mind, only 4 pitches, 2 outs. That's very efficient.
Designated hitter Garrett Cooper. Tell you what, Marlins are coming out firing tonight.
Morton aggressive in the zone. All pitches have been in the zone, strikes.
Morton, a guy who's focused himself on making sure he's a part of meaningful clubhouses. Wants guys that have integrity who can also make an impact. He talked about at one point how he felt in the Houston clubhouse and that maybe it was time to hang it up after that, but found himself in Tampa Bay. It was right outside of his home, so why not? They were also a contender. And then he comes to the Braves and it's just still a fit for him. And manager Brian Snitker just laughed and he said, well, maybe it's that he's close to home. We keep winning and the contract offer didn't hurt either, but we're happy to have him either way. Take a look here at what Morton's been able to compile over his 15 years. 317 games, all but one of those for starts, a 4.01 ERA. 2-2, rocketed foul to right.
See that 4-seam fastball at the top of the zone, out over the plate. Hitters are usually late on those. He knows how to utilize that elevated 4-seamer. Very difficult to get to.
And then be able to spin that breaking ball when he gets ahead.
Maybe it's time for a breaking ball right here.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're calling it. Darno with the sign. 2-2 out to left, heading back for the bullpens. Fair or foul? That's a tough play.
Definitely went to that curveball that me and Los called right there. Left it a little bit over the plate, a little bit more over the plate than he probably would like. We want to get that one down in the zone.
You see this pitch right here actually popped above the line of the previous 4-seamer. As a hitter, you're able to see change of plane. He was able to recognize and put a good swing on that ball. A little too early.
No chance. Goes below the zone. It's an 11-pitch inning for Charlie Morton. We head to the bottom of the first. Braves coming up to bat. As we head to the bottom of the first, let's go and take a look at the guys trying to get some hits tonight off of Sandy Alcantara. Ronald Acuna Jr. in the leadoff spot. The designated hitter, Dansby Swanson, the shortstop, is batting second. Third baseman this evening is Austin Riley. Matt Olson cleans it all up. Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate tonight. Michael Harris the second in center. Vaughn Grissom, Marcell Ozuna, and Robbie Grossman round it all out for the Braves. They are trying to repeat after we've had a couple of surprise championships over the last few years. Of course, the Nationals absolutely set the pace for a Cinderella story.
Woo!
So immediately working ahead here of Acuna Jr. And you take a look at Alcantara's numbers here. His 27th start overall, 2.13 ERA on the season, leading in innings at 185 2/3. So fastball just misses. You see that opponent average as well. This is a guy we heard from manager Don Mattingly. He said if he has a 20-pitch inning, we got problems because he is so efficient and just putting guys away.
It's a guy, a throwback, guys. Like it's a guy going to the post every 5th day, wants to give you 9 innings, and I'd imagine he'd much rather get through 9, strike out 4 than strike out 15 over 6, 7 innings.
Tried to buy him that one there, but it's a full count. Acuna Jr. is 7 for 22. He does have a home run off of him. And I mean, this is a guy who, when it's his day, I think that bullpen's in La Playa a little bit. They're kind of hanging out. They know there's been jokes that maybe they should give him a little bit of a tip for, you know, hey, thanks for giving me the day off today. Appreciate you. Payoff on the ground in the shift. Rojas with ease to first, and Acuna Jr. retired, 1 down. We'll go ahead and take a look at what Alcantara brings to the table. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud as we look at the pitch usage.
Well, Mel, get ready for some elite stuff. Change up, four-seamer, sinker, slider, and occasionally a curveball. But with Sandy Alcantara, you're going to get the best changeup in the big leagues. We talked about it in our open, leads all of baseball in run value with that changeup. Throws the 4th most changeups in all of baseball, but is not afraid to throw any pitch in any count. Like, you see an even distribution of pitches.
Then comes Dansby Swanson. He fouls off the first offering, and the big question for the upcoming free agent is, does he stay in a Braves uniform? You've seen Freddie Freeman and the Braves already part ways, but he's one of Brian Snitker's favorite guys on the team.
He has become a star in this game, and time does fly. I mean, I remember watching him play in Vanderbilt not too long ago. He's going to be a free agent next season. Boy, these fans will love to have him back.
Came over in a trade from Arizona. He was a hometown kid set to open up the new ballpark. The Braves were still finding their identity back then. No chance on a fastball there.
That pitch right there, elevated four-seamer, extremely difficult to get to. Goes to the uppermost and innermost quadrant of the strike zone, and Swanson is very late on it.
And guys know that changeup is coming, Carlos. So it's like, all right, I can only pick one. You see that fastball looks juicy.
Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's odds, courtesy of BetMGM. Over under Alcantara's strikeouts this evening, 5.5. Shallow ground ball, tough play for Joey Wendell, but the stretch for Lewin Diaz. And they wrap things up, trading clean innings here. To the second we go on Friday Night Baseball.
Welcome back to Braves versus Marlins on Apple TV+. Well, as we all know, the Braves are now one of the best teams in the entire league, but it hasn't been rainbows and butterflies all season long for the Braves. In fact, they went through a pretty tough stretch that resulted in manager Brian Snitker calling a team meeting after a tough start when they were 23-27. They suffered a couple bad losses to Arizona, and it resulted in this message from Snitker on June 1st. He said, "Relax." Afterwards, 14 straight wins for the Braves. That's their longest win streak since 2000. I asked Brian Snitker what he said to the team in that meeting, and he said the whole gist of it was that we were playing hard, but we weren't playing smart, and we were not playing to our capabilities. And then he said things just started happening. We raised the bar, and he said, I knew it was just a matter of time. So guys, it really took a team meeting with Brian Snitker telling the entire crew to just relax for this turnaround and for the Braves to be dominant as they are right now.
You know, it's not uncommon for us to hear about team meetings. Sometimes they're players only, other times the staff are involved or leading them. How many did you hear, Los, about, you know, just relax?
Yeah, it's so important.
High pop-up out behind third. The overshift on for the Braves sends out Swanson, and he's got it.
It's so important to address the elephant in the room. Many times there are things that are not going right with the ball club, and sometimes you try to ignore it. That's the wrong approach. I like the fact that Skip took, Brian Snitker took the initiative to go ahead and address it and say, hey guys, yeah, we're not playing up to our capabilities. When you do that, then you can just turn the page instead of ignoring it. That's the right approach.
So it brings up Charles LeBlanc, the second baseman, batting .406 when he's on the road. 315 on the season. Give a little boost to those odds as Morton misses here. Claimed off of waivers in December for the Marlins. Called up Not too long ago, on July 29th, debuted the next day, and tough luck kid against the Mets. Socked out to right. Robbie Grossman going back. This will split the defense. It's a base hit. LeBlanc is immediately in at second. And a breezy double gets the first hit of the evening for LeBlanc.
LeBlanc with a nice swing right here, short to the baseball, goes the other way. Just tries to barrel it. Sometimes that's all you have to do. Do not come out of your element, and gets the result he wants. Elevated two-seamer. Nice and compact.
So runner in scoring position after both Morton and Alcantara brought 11 pitch innings in the first. Backstop Jacob Stallings. We got to talk to manager Don Mattingly about a lot of guys that have come over in trade. He said the next step is to grow some of their own, but how this one's worked out for them so far is they got him from Pittsburgh. Just 29 RBI on the season. As we thought this would be a Marlins team that would make the NL East, kind of what we're seeing with the AL East right now. A lot of teams all neck and neck with each other, and it's gotten a little bit of a fizzle for them. Their rotation is amazing. They're happy with the bullpen right now. They just need to see more runs produced.
It's kind of a flip for them. You know, when Don Mattingly got to Miami, it was the offense. You had Stanton, you had Christian Yelich, you had Marcell Ozuna, and it changes. Now you have the Jesus Luzardos, Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez. Now you're still looking for that offense, that boost. So they have one side. They're trying to get those position players driving in some runs.
And Don Mattingly was very adamant when he was talking about the fact that, look, there are many games that they've lost by 1 run. As a matter of fact, he said it was either 49 or 51 games that they lost by 1 run. And he's thinking, if we could only flip those and maybe win half of them, we would be in a totally different place in the standings.
And when you look at it, too, a lot of those teams that have that many 1-run games, it's usually the next year you do see that conversion rate get a little better. That competitiveness comes back in. It's away here, and it's going to allow LeBlanc to move up to third.
Curious to look at that replay, because that pitch D'Arnaud would like to have back and block it, but he kind of just threw the glove out there. Not sure if he crossed him. Seems like he did.
Goes in as a wild pitch. Under 90 feet from home for the Marlins. As it's all but the guy at the plate who steals bases. Stallings on the ground. They'll take a look back at third, and the easy out here.
And that's a moment for a team that hasn't been able to score a ton of runs, where you love to get a ball in the air. Easier said than done, obviously, but hits it right to the second baseman. Give him a courtesy glance, get that second out.
Ball was hit very well. Grissom makes a very nice play, fundamentally sound. Looks easier than it really is.
Outside here to Lewin Diaz. 0-3 facing Morton. How much of it a threat, though, too, the fact that that ball's being delivered to Matt Olson? You're probably not going to try that arm if you think you're going to take off. That play at the plate is kind of a dead duck.
As a first baseman, you always anticipate the possibility the runner will take off.
In.
LeBlanc made the right decision. He sees the contact. He's looking at it, reading the play. I'm not going anywhere.
Big chase. Morton with the curve. He's been going after that bottom of the zone, and the movement is just so deceptive. By the time the hitter breaks it all, it's already too late.
And that is precisely what he's trying to do. With that four-seamer, he sets a lane. That stays in your mind as a hitter. And then he starts the curveball on that same lane that you just saw. So it's extremely difficult to pick up that, in fact, it's going to be a breaking pitch until it's too late. And you get those ugly swings.
Trying to leave LeBlanc aboard. And the count runs full.
And for everybody out there, what Los is referring to is called tunneling. Is the term for it. But when you see those pitching ninja videos where you have the overlay and the pitch is split off and everybody, oh, why can't hitters hit? And you see guys throwing nasty stuff like Charlie Morton. It's like, okay, I get it.
Another full count payoff here. Charging in Riley. The throw to first. They got him.
What a play by Riley. Coming in on that ground ball. In one motion, throws the runner out barehanded. Great play.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by ZipRecruiter. Melanie Newman alongside Carlos Pena, Russell Dorsey, and Tricia Whitaker here at Truist Park in Smyrna, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. First pitch swinging for Matt Olson. He has yet to get a hit. 0 for 7. That ever give you a little spice? You wanted to crack that book open on a pitcher?
Absolutely. The thing is, going up against elite pitchers like Alcantara, you got to have a plan. If you're trying to cover the entire zone, it's going to be a long night.
One on the ground. In the shift and to first with ease. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And sponsored in part by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. And by Mattress Firm, upgrade and save up to $400 on top-rated brands. It's a little bit of a duel going here. The Marlins got a double, but ultimately got nowhere with it. The Braves looking for their first hit. Travis d'Arnaud digs in. And the backstop takes strike one. Right back to the fastball.
And Melanie, Carlos talked about having a plan up there with a guy who has as many pitches as Sandy Alcantara. You have to pick one. It's really hard to cover the entire plate. And so part of that plan is, okay, I have to sit fastball, or I'm sitting changeup because he throws it as much as anybody else in the game.
No. 1-2.
It is extremely important to go up to the plate with your strategy, with a plan. And sometimes you have to give up something in order to get a reward. So that's that risk-reward ratio that you're trying to always control. Against Alcantara, fastballs, change-ups, and also zones, you try to get a combination that works for you. Because you're going to cover the entire plate, he is going to dominate you.
You take a look here at his starts against the Braves. He went back-to-back appearances, 17 innings between those two, and just one earned run. So again, Braves with some small success against him. It has no doubt been earned.
Carlos, how annoying is it for you in the box knowing a guy is so comfortable with not only his fastball, but all the secondary stuff?
Oh, it's extremely uncomfortable. But that's what you have to love as a hitter. You know, when you have a pitcher like Alcantara there, after that 99-mile-per-hour fastball right here, 98 again, and that was actually lower than the one before, and you foul it straight back. That's when you're like, I just wasted an opportunity. So D'Arnaud is in between, late on the fastball and possibly early in the off speed, and he's got to set up for that right now.
8th pitch, out to right. Brian Anderson dancing, and he's got it 2 down. So here comes in Michael Harris II, the young lefty who has got a big contract, and he has already been showing that he's going to be around for a long time and making some damage against the Rockies. That'll send you home happy.
Goodness, he gave that ball a ride. Inside, 91 mile per hour fastball. He gets to it with ease, smooth swing, nice and early, great timing on that.
Already 16 stolen bases on the young career. He's batting below just 300, and for Snitker, he joked earlier, and he said, I have 2 potential National League Rookies of the Year here, and I don't know who I'm supposed to choose from. You have Spencer Strider, who goes out and absolutely dominates, and then you've got this guy who's also crushing in his respective time. Two outs, 2-1, ground ball just foul. So they found his fluidity out in center field has been a big plus. He brings in a seasoned look at the plate. All signs pointing to a team with a foundation for years to come. Swing and a miss. Alcantara gets his 2nd strikeout of the evening through 2. Braves and Marlins all locked up.
Have a good day, bro. Hey, bro, show me something today, please. Please. Vámonos, Robbie. Vámonos, Robbie. ¡Ay, cabrón! Let's go.
We've got some guys mic'd up tonight on Friday Night Baseball. For the Braves, Eddie Rosario. For the Marlins, Edward Cabrera. As this one, a deep out towards right, heading back for the course deck. It's gone. Gerard Encarnacion leads off the 3rd with a long ball, just his 2nd of the season. And he puts the Marlins on top.
Encarnacion was ready for that fastball. He got it out over the plate, got barrel on it, great swing going the other way, showing his power, not wasting any time.
Put on the helmet. Let's go.
Talk about going to the plate with a plan. I'm looking fastball, got it, went after it, crushed it.
Miguel Rojas and a first pitch strike for the shortstop. He left on Wednesday with wrist soreness. I think as many pats on the head as Encarnacion is getting right now, you might need the helmet. Leave that on for a little bit.
Yeah, the guys are extra aggressive with those slaps to the head.
You have a few that you remember ducking away from?
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I'm really excited I hit a home run, but take it easy with those, man.
Now I have a concussion.
Please.
Outside the Rojas. So again, left Wednesday with wrist soreness. Was feeling better. They expected him back in today. You talk about that plan, though, and that's exactly what they've been preaching. Said, look, you know, we've got a young group of guys, but the best thing they can do is we've been analyzing. You got to come in with a plan every day. You don't have to be a pitcher to have that routine set up. And they've taken to it, it sounds pretty well. Morton fools him here. It's another curve.
When we talk about having a plan, and Gerard Encarnacion knows that Charlie Morton has that curveball. He's like, all right, I'm going to get a fastball early in the count and drive it somewhere. And actually inside out of that ball, Los.
Got some reaction.
Hello. Oppo.
Oppo, opposite field.
Calling it. Joey Wendell's showing bunt.
But a guy taking advantage of that short porch out in right field, whether it hit off the wall for an extra base hit, but being able to drive something out of the ballpark. And against Charlie Morton, you know it's going to be tough to get a run early in this game. With your guy Sandy Alcantara on the mound, you're feeling really good.
Sometimes it feels like that's all he needs. Give him one run, and he's just going to pull that iron curtain back, and you're done.
Indeed, and when you go up to the plate with a plan, and something like this happens, you get the pitch you want, you make good contact, you put a run on the board with a home run, you know what? You already help your ball club out. Sometimes we are a little tentative when it comes to plans because we try to cover the entire zone, and then we get ourselves in trouble. I'd rather go 1 for 4, Russ, with that home run, maybe a strikeout because I didn't swing at the pitches low in the zone, and I got some questionable strikes, instead of putting 4 weak balls in play because I had no plan.
They've seen Morton more than enough times to build one up, and now they're making it pay off. Underneath this one into center field. Tough play. Michael Harris second. It'll fall in front of him for a base hit. Joey Wendell is aboard.
Get a changeup. Wendell just pokes the bat out there, gets enough on the barrel to drop it in front of Michael Harris second. Marlins trying to have an inning here. Good at bat, spoiling some pitches.
Certainly not a pretty swing, but a very nice result. I mean, that's as some balance as you're going to get, but still great bat to baseball skill.
We'll check on him here. He's got 10 swiped on the season. I think that face says it all. The I've committed. Hope this gets a little poke. Mattingly considers him a veteran guy. He's hoping he can rub off on some of these younger names. Right behind him with Brian Anderson. He is one of those few pieces that the Marlins have built up.
And Anderson gave the ball a ride in his first at bat, made great contact, great swing, missed a home run by a couple feet in his previous at bat.
You know he's thinking, man, I gave my ball a ride, and Encarnacion just flicks one out to right field.
This pitch right here, up and in, just catching the up and in side of the strike zone. It was actually a strike. I know Anderson doesn't think so, but it was in the box.
Corey Blazer calling balls and strikes this evening. On the ground, Swanson on an E, spins it to second. They turn 2. 6-4-3, just like you draw it up, but the Marlins blast their way onto the board first.
What a play by Swanson. Great feed, completed.
Vaughn Grissom digs in against Alcantara. First pitch swinging into center field. J.J. Bleday ranging out and snags it in front of the Braves bullpens. Some more exciting outs here as the Braves trying to return fire. You collect NFTs of your favorite MLB players and the top plays from every night of the baseball season. Go to candy.com/MLB to grab icon NFT packs and the play of the day now. That's one you should take home, an NFT of a guy getting knocked around with a football helmet on in a baseball dugout. Encarnacion with a home run to put the Marlins on the board first. Marcell Ozuna stands in. 5 for 14 facing Alcantara. Fouled back, 0-2.
And you see Sandy Alcantara getting ahead. The Braves are playing into his plan. We talked about a hitter's mindset in their plan, getting a first pitch out, getting ahead of Ozuna here. It's exactly what he wants to do.
He's got to set up here to climb the ladder way up or throw an off-speed pitch down and away.
On the ground, a tough play here. They're going to try to let it roll. That's a fair ball. Oh, what a way to get the first hit of the night for the Braves. Little bleeder.
Looks like a line drive in the books. But we have to go to that sequence because that was not the preferable pitch. He had it set up for a nice off-speed slider, you know, change up down, and he would have gotten a swing and a miss. Instead, he goes to the fastball, and Ozuna is able to actually put the barrel, well, the end of the bat on that baseball and gets a base hit out of it.
Got the hit celebrations going. You have to.
Got to take it.
Switch hitter Robbie Grossman in from the left.
Outside.
Braves have one of the best home records this season, but they only have 9 home games left the rest of the way. So they got to take advantage. It's another sellout crowd here tonight at Truist. Just the second time this evening that Alcantara has fallen behind.
Got the call on that up and in fastball slightly above the zone in the pressure zone and gets the call. That's tough as a hitter.
You're thinking this guy's already good enough. We don't need him getting calls like that too.
Big chase there. That's not what you usually see from Grossman as it falls to 2-2. Now let me ask you this. We've seen this. When you have a seasoned hitter who's not really going to chase a lot, sometimes the umpire will give that zone to him.
Yeah.
When it's an undeniable pitcher, he'll get a few of those borderline calls as well. Would you say it's a 50-50 split, or do you say one side or the other kind of buys out those border calls more?
I always felt that call always went to the pitcher. Seriously. Maybe because I'm biased and I can only remember those bad calls. Like, hey man, I have discipline at the plate. You know, I should get those calls swinging my way.
So no pitch calm here with Stallings. Or foul ball.
That pitch in the perfect location, 98 miles per hour in that up and in corner is so difficult for a hitter. If you're not ready for it, if you're not looking for that pitch in that zone, you have absolutely zero chance to hit it. You're human. You simply cannot react quick enough.
I think I could go in with a plan, and even though I am human, I still don't have a shot at that. 2-2 out towards right. Nobody calling this one here. Almost a dangerous tangle for Blade and Anderson. They get the out. It'll be Blade with the out. But we have seen some plays this year that have not ended up good, and Mattingly knows that one was close.
Yeah, sometimes you can't hear anything out there in the outfield. You may call it both at the same time. It's just too loud.
So back up to the top with Ronald Acuna Jr. First pitch swinging, but the shift played perfectly. LeBlanc will go for second, and they wrap up the Braves through 3. Miami on top, 1-0 on Friday Night Baseball. Brian Snitker, when you ask somebody who is the most deserving manager, he has had 46 seasons in the Braves organization, one of the most tenured of all time for any organization. Took over at the helm of the big leagues in 2016 after 20 seasons in the minors, bringing up the best of what Atlanta has to offer. He also spent 4 seasons as a minor league player. And you ask any of these guys, 100% has that clubhouse, as we've talked about earlier, calling the team meeting earlier in the season that turned things around. And trying to coax the guys here. This is not an endurance run for them.
Outside.
Outside to Garrett Cooper for a ball and a strike. He said, we don't watch the Mets. We don't mind the 3-game gap. It's 162 individual sprints, which that already has me exhausted. Drilled foul to right. Cooper falls behind.
The exact quote was 162 game 7s.
Yeah.
How cool is that? That mentality. You're right. It's exhausting, mentally exhausting.
And that's how you know he's the guy for it, because that clubhouse doesn't look an iota of exhausted.
And listen, it's easier said than done, especially, and Carlos, you know, being the team that's being chased and the team that is doing the chasing, right? So it's easy to say, hey, we just have to play tonight's game. But it is cliche, but that's what you got to do.
Two into left. Hesitation, and Ozuna there with plenty of time. Well, during the break, Trisha Whittaker caught up with Brian Snitker in the manager interview presented by ZipRecruiter, talking about that Braves defense.
Austin probably as good as anybody I've seen since Chipper at making those plays, and that's been pure Dansby for a long time now.
Ozuna got the first hit off of Alcantara, but what do you guys have to do to get to potentially a future Cy Young winner tonight?
No, he is, and you just got to be aggressive. You got to be on the attack, because he sure is. So hopefully, we got a long way to go, so we'll get something going here.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys.
And it's that attitude right there that's why they're not exhausted on these 162 game 7s. That's fine. We got plenty of game. He is steady heartbeat, believes in these guys. I mean, he really just does feel like somebody you've known your whole life.
He's earned the respect of his players. He's what you call a baseball lifer, a Braves lifer. So when he speaks, these players are there listening.
See how long he can take Charlie Morton tonight. Blade skies this one. The overshift again for Swanson. He's there, 2 down. How much of a target was that, looking at other teams that are defending a World Series title throughout the year?
And I always have said that it's easier to chase the other team, right? Instead of being on top. When we won the American League East and the American League Championship in 2008, that following season, 2009, with the Rays, it was difficult. These guys came to get us. It was as if they just upped their ante every single time they came into the Trop or whenever we came to visit. It's very difficult to defend. The Braves are doing a great job of it.
LeBlanc, and I thought that was something unique too, is they give these World Series rings, and they had the rubies to give a moment to the guys they acquired at the deadline that they felt made the difference to get to that final push. Time called. Corey Blazer with balls and strikes. Mark Rippinger at first. Junior Valentine manning second. Dan Bellino, the third base umpire.
You talk about those moves, Mel. Alex Anthopoulos going out, finding Eddie Rosario, right? You go get Jock Peterson, and that made a huge difference, especially in the World Series in October. And trying to do the same thing this year. You go get a guy like a Robbie Grossman.
Got it. Duvall, also a great acquisition. And all those trades panned out.
Yeah.
No, forget it. Better than panned out. They perform at an elite level, and they were difference makers.
You go get Jorge Soler, who the Marlins acquired this offseason, and what he did in the World Series as their leadoff hitter.
Topolis looking like an absolute genius.
And that's what they've prided themselves on for a long time. I mean, you ask that scouting department, they've made some big trades, and you say, how happy are you about that? And they say, we're not done yet. They just stay hungry. Payoff.
No.
And he loses LeBlanc for the first walk of the evening. Well, we take a look at the last 5 to win and how things turned out the year after. And it's been a little tough. I mean, you're not on the big stage.
See, that's why you don't see back-to-back winners, World Series winners, very often. Almost never.
Yeah. You're just drained. Like, you're playing a lot of high-intensity baseball, and coming out that next season, like you talked about, Lowe's, everybody gives you their best. Everybody comes in town like, all right, we're going to beat this team. They're the reigning champs. To get up for those games, you're a professional, so you know you got to do it, but, like, it's different.
And look, the Dodgers, obviously you saw that record. You see what they're doing this year.
Not fair.
That is just absolute mayhem what's going on over there. And being 50 games above 500, they are the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
You know, I always like, somebody told me with rugby, the fastest person on the team wears bright, flashy cleats. And while that lets you know that's the fastest guy, that's the one, that's also that target on you that says everybody's coming after you next. Braves have got the flashy cleats right now.
They certainly do.
One Stallings in the shallow right, out past the chalk, and they tried to go for an underhand catch. Tried to pick it on a bobble, but everybody's going to return here.
That's a tough play right there, going over your shoulder, trying to catch this ball, running around. It's so difficult to even keep your head still. But Olsen give it a right. He almost made that play. Known as a very good defender.
The fan right there. Hey, don't lean on that netting. It's got some give to it. Take home a souvenir.
And right here, the fan wearing Olsen's shirt.
He's ready to go in.
He probably should have moved. He should have moved.
One-two again, and Morton right back to the curve. He sets him down. Marlins still riding that Encarnacion home run. Braves due up when we come back. Manager Don Mattingly, he had a long resume. I don't think even that sums it up. You see here, he's a coach with the Yankees and the Dodgers before moving on 5 seasons at the helm for LA before he was hired by the Marlins in 2015, won that 2020 Manager of the Year after the Marlins made quite a splash in the shortened season. Now, he did say that 2021 was tough for them. They had a lot of injuries, but they were still hopeful that everybody was healthy. It would be the first time to turn the corner for them in 2022. And that's what's been so tough, is they've just hit a little bit of a backskid this year. But he's still stripping it down to the fundamentals, making sure that he's giving these guys what they need to know how to succeed on their own. Right now, they've got the lead over the Braves.
With the guy on the mound, that really helps you. We talked about the planned pitching that they have. Got to get the position player development going a little bit. And you talked about that. Get some guys healthy. Jazz Chisholm, a big part of what they do offensively. They haven't had him for a little while now, but what he can do at the plate, electric type of player, you need those guys if you want to take that next step.
He's got the best 3 in his rotation for this series. It's the 1-2, Swanson on a line over the glove of Rojas into left, base hit. During the break, Trisha Whittaker caught up with Don Mattingly in the manager interview presented by ZipRecruiter on Sandy Alcantara.
Trying to get after the strike zone for the most part. Teams, it's hard to let him get deep into the count. You don't want to get to the change of the slider. So he's throwing the ball good right now. His pitch count's in a good spot. Hopefully we just keep rolling.
Encarnacion, the leadoff home run. How ready was he for that fastball?
No, he likes that ball out over, and he's got big power that way. So hopefully we can tack on a few more. If Sandy's throwing some zeros, give us a little breathing room.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
Got it.
Guys?
Yeah, he's always going to look for a little more breathing room, and it's been tough. The Marlins have been averaging 2.3 runs per game. That's not exactly ideal. Carlos, you talked about those 1-run losses that they've had kind of piling up against them this season. But they're also facing a Braves team right now coming off of their quietest series of the year. They only had 17 hits in their 3 games against the Rockies. They were almost also averaging just 2.5 runs per game. So just the second hit given up tonight. You take a look here at Riley's spray chart.
And you see Alcantara pounding the inside part of that zone, just off a little bit, but it does something to the hitter. And Austin Riley needs to know that he's trying to rush him in there, which sets up the off speed.
Pitch home is a strike. Swanson takes off. He's safe. 17th swiped this year for Dansby Swanson, and Atlanta has their first runner in scoring position.
Swanson getting a great jump right here. It was a good pitch to throw to second base, but Sampson just too quick.
And with Sandy Alcantara on the mound, you know you got to do some different things to try to push a run across and tie this ball game.
Good.
Riley makes it even count. You take another look here, though, at the first really true hit ball for the Braves this evening.
And you see a slider that kind of backs up on Sandy there. Dansby Swanson gets the barrel on it. First guy to really get a barrel on anything tonight.
Two-two. Riley gives chase. So another sit down here for Alcantara, but he's still dealing with Swanson at second. You take a look here at his hand positioning as he came through this.
He's choking up on the bat. You see the axe handle, palm up, palm down, head is down on the baseball. That is textbook.
Did these 40,000 different bat handles exist while you guys were playing?
No, not really. There's a bunch of them right now. As a matter of fact, a lot of the players today, the hitters, are getting fitted. Just like if they were golfers, now they're getting fitted for bats to see how can they optimize their mechanics and their bat speed.
See.
Matt Olson here again, 0 for 8, facing Alcantara, the new first baseman for the Braves. And again, just another guy. They've all laughed and they said, man, it really does show you how many kids come right out of Georgia. But it was a return home for him after really starting his career, putting himself on the map with Oakland. Time called here. And for Olson, he was a natural fit for the fans. There was some trepidation at first, how everybody would react. You're replacing somebody who's been a face of a franchise for a really long time. And of course, Trisha mentioned it, the story that goes back and forth between Freeman and the Braves. But Olson beloved pretty quickly here as he towers this one. It's a long way back down for Stallings and just gets underneath it.
right there. Diaz has to take charge on that pop-up and call Stallings off. First baseman's got the priority on this pop-up right here. You can see the Stallings is struggling a little bit.
That's why you want a Gold Glove. If you're Jacob Stallings, stayed with that ball. You know that ball's going to come back to the field of play. Stayed with the whole time.
Stallings, 226 consecutive games without a passed ball. Exceeds Johnny Bench. This was a record that stood since the 70s, but you have to go all the way back to 2020 since he's really last had a miscue.
It's really good company. You're in the same sentence as Johnny Bench as a catcher. You're feeling pretty good.
Do you think he can hold as many baseballs in one hand?
It's an impressive picture.
Doubtful.
Mel, can you?
I'm a size 4.5 ring finger. I think not. Drilled out to left center. Going back for the fans. Forget it. Travis d'Arnaud sets off the fireworks as the Braves go shot for shot. It's a 2-run homer. 402 feet to put Atlanta on top. Dansby Swanson still taking another look at this one.
What a swing by d'Arnaud. Got a pitch out over the plate. Was very compact to it. Timing was impeccable. And the ballpark cannot hold him.
Get the swords out. So the smoke clears as Michael Harris II stands in. d'Arnaud, his 15th of the year.
And you see, second time in the inning, the slider backs up on Sandy Alcantara, as it did with Dansby Swanson. And d'Arnaud gets ahead, gets a pitch on the inner third that he can drive out of the ballpark.
Another loud ball out towards left, heading for the bullpen, and foul.
Looks like d'Arnaud was actually sitting on a slider. You see that uninhibited swing path. There was no breakdown of his mechanics. He was all over that pitch.
Another shot here that's well foul for Michael Harris II. Third straight game that he has allowed a home run. Do you raise an eyebrow at this, or do you just keep on going here? Because Alcantara is still pitching 8+ innings.
Nothing to be concerned about. You have to know when a hitter beats you. That was not his best slider. d'Arnaud took advantage of it. Still a 2-1 game.
And look, if you're Sandy Alcantara, you say, guys are hitting 212 against my slider. I feel really good with that pitch, and you got to go back to it and put it in a better spot next time.
Payoff and another foul ball.
You bring up a great point. Sometimes a hitter is going to have a good swing, a good plan. They're going to get you. And as a pitcher, you need to recognize that. Now, Alcantara knows that was not his best slider, but he still has to have confidence in it to go back to it.
7th pitch, driven into left, and it's a base hit. Michael Harris II wins out the battle, and the Braves keep things rolling here in the 4th.
In that at bat, you could tell that Harris is trying to shoot the fastball the other way and pull the off speed. Finally puts this ball in play. The fastball just going away from him. Hit 2 foul balls, very loud ones, late down the left field line. This one was absolute rocket.
Sixth batter, first pitch swinging again, skied out into the stands.
And I think going back to that at bat with Michael Harris II, you're in protect mode. You've seen a lot of pitches, you spoil them. Two-seamer running off the plate. Maybe earlier in the count, you sit on that, but you got to shoot that the other way. It's a really good at bat.
Time called. And you mentioned this. Swanson got after a slider. Darno the same. And then a fastball that just gets left here for Harris. They're going to check on him quite a bit, too. We mentioned it earlier. He's got speed. 16 stolen bases. Crowd's a little protective of him. Drilled back. Goodbye. See you never for Vaughn Grissom. The Braves pair a two-run jacks in the inning, and they double it up for one.
Grissom, one of those young players having a huge impact on this Braves lineup, coming up with a big two-run home run, getting to Alcantara, and now there's going to be a conference on the mound. We need to have a conversation. At the very least, just give him a breather.
Do you think there's any truth in saying you're too young sometimes to know you're not supposed to win?
You see right there, Vaughn Grissom. He says, you guys are sitting on slider. I'm going to get a fastball, enter third, and do what I know what to do. It drives this ball out of the ballpark. You're not going to see that a lot off a guy who has had a Cy Young type of season.
We would have to go back and look at that sequence, but make no mistake about it. That pitch right there was a good pitch. It's just that Grissom was a better hitter.
Third time this year, half of his home runs have come since the All-Star break. Still looking for that final out. Marcell Ozuna with a hit in the game. Alcantara delivers low.
And we talked about these young players that the Braves have developed. We saw what Strider did last night. We talked about Michael Harris II. Vaughn Grissom, what he's doing at the plate, he's going to stay in the lineup when Ozzie Albies comes back. And talking to Brian Snitker before the game, he's been getting some work in the outfield before games because once Ozzie comes back, he's going to shift from second base. And he said, look, he's athletic enough to do it. He's young enough. He's excited about it. And we're going to give him a chance to play there.
Ozuna gives chase. And you're really starting to see that transition into guys. It's not cemented. You're going to be in this one spot and you're going to be there your whole career. That motto that you used to think, oh, well, he's new and everybody will say that. You really will play anywhere. Ozuna beats the shift. The Braves are pouring it on here in the fourth. It's another single. And the biggest inning for Atlanta yet.
And you can kind of tell that Sandy Alcantara doesn't have his best stuff right now, falling behind, which he rarely does. And giving Braves hitters an opportunity to get pitches in the zone, up in the zone, not waiting around. You don't have to wait around for that changeup that you know he wants to throw, wants to get to.
So it rolls on to the switch hitter, Robbie Grossman. It's 156 against righties, but most of his home runs have been against righties. 3 out of 4. So he has the ability to get those small paper cut hits against the southpaws, and he's do or die when it flips around. 11 earned runs, the last 16 and a third for Alcantara. 0-2, fouled back, and this is a guy, it's so interesting always to get into the head, maybe more specifically of pitchers. They bring a little more complexity sometimes, and teammates have said he's the most laid-back guy. He's quiet. You know, you don't really hear a lot from him. He leads more by example, but he gets a little Scherzer-esque on the mound. He's not all the way Mad Max, but he's not the Sandy in the off day.
More of a quiet intensity.
Yeah, well, he on the mound just looks like a charging bull.
Yeah.
Even after giving these 4 runs, you can see the intensity in his eyes. You know, Don Mattingly talked about the fact that he's still getting better. And I think that sequencing strategy part of it is where there's room for growth, but his stuff is undeniable.
33rd pitch of the inning and a soft ground ball here for Diaz. And the inning finally comes to a close. But how about a pair of jacks for the Braves to give them a nice little boost?
Great swings right here by the Braves, getting to the elite pitcher, Alcantara.
Lauren Gardner with your Apple TV Plus studio update as we get you out to Cleveland. Top second, Mitch Haniger with his second RBI double of the night out to left center field. J-Rod's going to cross the plate once again to make it 3-0. M's with the lead as we get you out to Citi Field. Mets, bottom 2. How about this? Eduardo Escobar absolutely tattoos this one to right center. A 2-run shot to make it 2-0 Mets for his 13th of the season. They hold that 3-game lead over the Bravos. Now 3-1. The score, my friends.
LG, I know that the Braves said they're not scoreboard watching and they're not paying attention to the Mets, but we here in the booth will be keeping an eye on that score that you guys are bringing back to us. Thanks so much for that. 1-1 and a chase for Lewin Diaz. His manager Brian Snitker. I feel like he's just a cookie jar of quotes about how he runs this team. 1-2, ground ball into the shift. Swanson is there. And the first retired. Well, we told you we got Eddie Rosario mic'd up for the Braves, giving a little love to his coaches, maybe trying to get some playing time between those innings.
I want to tell you something for myself. The best third base coach is you, bro.
Thank you, dog.
You're not scared for nothing, man.
It's guys like you that make me good because you make me look good.
Bro, you have the best swagging third base coach in the Major League Baseball.
Gerardo Encarnacion with a first pitch strike from Charlie Morton. Do you ever buy your playing time? You butter up your coaches?
It doesn't work. But Eddie doesn't have to talk so much. Great ball player. Huge part of the Braves' success last season.
We mentioned that earlier. He's one of those rubies encrusted in there, that little reminder. Brought them an edge last year as they took no risk at the deadline to make sure that they were stacked up.
Talking to Ron Washington, was my manager in winter ball, third base coach when I was with Oakland. I know all about him. Just a great baseball man, great baseball mind.
You got a good story?
All I got to say is this. Ron Washington, when he gives team meetings, it's the most intense thing I have ever seen.
2-2, chase and another punch out for Charlie Morton. Well, we've been talking about some of this young talent. Vaughn Grissom is no doubt on the map for the Braves. Trisha, you had a little more on him.
Yeah, absolutely, Mel. We saw Vaughn Grissom launch that 2-run home run in the 4th, and he's made quite the impact for the Braves as they battle the Mets for the division. And the recently called up top prospect is thankful he's in Atlanta and not in New York with the Mets. He was drafted in 2019, and Grissom thought he was going to be a Met, which, as he told MLB.com recently, that would have been terrible. And thankfully for Grissom, he stepped into his role quite seamlessly with the Braves. He was called up on August 9th when Orlando Arcia suffered a hamstring injury, and he's been the Braves' everyday second baseman since joining the team. Even more impressive, guys, he stepped into this role and made his major league debut August 10th after only playing 22 games above high A. Guys, that's pretty impressive.
We always hear that the big jump to Double-A is where you really start to see that talent drop off, the guys who can actually hang in there. We've heard several guys who have come up straight from Double-A, but to make that quick of a jump and to adjust as well as he has is something else. But, you know, it also goes back to the fact, too, we asked about the work ethic for this team and why young guys like him are so successful. And they said it's very simple. It's the legend of the Braves. It's the lore of some guys who have Cooperstown busts, who have had work ethic that you cannot doubt. Borderline call there for Charlie Morton. And so you show up and you expect to carry the torch and you put in the work the same as those big names who came before you did. That's what Don Mattingly is trying to lay for his side as well. And he said it just really gets to the point where it operates on its own. One-two and another chase. The Morton curve cannot be beat. He gets back-to-back punch-outs. We are halfway home. Braves a 4-1 lead. Candy, start your digital baseball collection with Candy MLB NFTs. Go to candy.com/MLB now. Well, it's time for our weekly Siri trivia question. Just ask Siri, who leads MLB in stolen bases this season? We've got a slew of contenders this year for that title. Some teams as a whole have been pretty aggressive. There can only be one who's the most successful. 1-0 and a skied ball for Acuna Jr. out behind the dugout. Talked about the power some of the Braves bring in, and battling through it all, still able to go yard.
It's a bomb, absolute bomb from a guy who's been battling some knee soreness, and he talked about it with the media the other night, said his knee felt terrible, right? And it's something that they're going to figure out at the end of after the season's over. But talking to Brian Snitker, they've been talking to some football people about that torn ACL and coming back from it.
NFL.
Yes,
I love
the football injury. And so, who better to talk to? And you see here, you see his face. He grimaced. You know he's feeling it on that swing. And Brian Snitker saying before the game, they're managing it. He's going to DH a lot. Hopefully get him back in the outfield soon.
Yeah, he gives those home runs a ride. I mean, he hits them very, very, very far. As a matter of fact, one of the farthest home runs hit here, I think he holds that record.
He doesn't get cheated. You're never going to say, oh, that was in a short porch stadium. No.
To hit that ball 440 with the bulky knee, that tells you just how talented the guy at the plate is.
And the good news is they said structurally it's sound.
Yeah.
It's just kind of an issue right now of overuse and soreness, a little inflammation. And they said, look, we could give him rest. Broken bat, ground ball, heads up for the Marlins. That'll get your heart rate going. Acuna retired. They don't need any more caffeine in that dugout, though. That's going to wake you up in a heartbeat.
This is a great pitch by Alcantara, breaking the bat of Acuna. By the way, this is the same pitch that was hit for a home run earlier. That's why you have to be very careful the way you evaluate yourself. Watch out.
Goodness. First pitch swinging, Dansby Swanson straight up. Stallings again, 4 Marlins on it. It'll be Diaz instead.
And Carlos, you talked about it. The last time we had a play similar, Diaz has to call Stallings off and make that play himself.
Well, he probably had a conversation in the dugout. I wouldn't be surprised if Don Mattingly himself said, hey, that's your ball.
Yeah.
You got to take charge there. He certainly did.
That's part of the game plan, though, right? You assign the guys you know that are anchors. You got your shortstop, your center fielder, and if it comes down to those type, your first baseman. You have to call it, though. 80th pitch for Alcantara. And a strike.
Pop-up priorities are one of those things that should never be overlooked. And teams practice this over and over in spring training. Diaz doing a great job. Get Stallings out of there. I'm taking charge. He did, and he makes the play.
And we're starting to see Sandy Alcantara look more like the pitcher we've seen all season long. Last inning, some of those pitches backing up on him, that slider backing up. He's getting pitches exactly where he wants to this half inning.
It was his longest inning and the biggest one he's allowed all season.
And the most runs he's allowed all season in an inning. But he's back out there.
And the tough thing there is, for a lot of teams, this is pretty easy to overcome right now. It's still 4-1, but again, the Marlins have been tough to find runs right now. 2-out walk for Austin Riley. First free base issued for Alcantara this evening.
Yes, Alcantara not looking as sharp. However, you see him still out there trying to battle, and this is what he has to do, right? If you're going to become that Cy Young Award winner, that Cy Young perennial Cy Young contender, you have to pitch and battle even when you don't feel like you have your best stuff.
It's 2 outs for Matt Olson. Still looking for his first, and you will not find it there. What is more crucial in that situation? Is it, and it sounds kind of silly, is it the placement or is it the mixing?
I'm glad you asked. You know, right there, you really have to maximize your strategy, your sequencing. Some of those pitches do not have a tunnel. We're talking about tunneling earlier. That's what I would go to. Let me look at the tape. Let me look at the sequences of pitches in this at bat where a home run was hit. Did I tunnel my off-speed pitches well? Or were they changing plane immediately out of my hand? That's that kind of advanced stuff where Don Mattingly talked about him having room for growth.
And Carlos, I think you hit on it a couple of seconds ago, where when you don't have your best stuff, you've had a Cy Young caliber season. For the other guys on that staff, guys like Jesus Luzardo and Edward Cabrera, you can see, okay, this guy has been Cy Young.
Olsen out for center field. Blade on the track. And he's there. More loud outs for the Braves, but Atlanta cruising right now 4-1 after 5. Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by ZipRecruiter. Melanie Newman alongside Carlos Pena, Russell Dorsey, and Trisha Whitaker here at Truist Park in Atlanta this evening. Let's go ahead and find out the answer to our trivia question. Who leads MLB in stolen bases this season? Oh, that belongs to the Marlins. John Birdie with 32 swiped this year. And my goodness, he racked up some of those pretty quickly. Now, he's been on and off of the IL this season, but he is no doubt a table setter for the Marlins because he's got the ability to stretch just about anything he puts in play a little extra.
Speed.
Yeah, those guys on that list can go.
It never goes in slump.
Big chase for Joey Wendell, 0-2. We did notice, by the way, an around the base celebration signaling "I love you" back to the team Apparently, Charlie Morton does not hesitate to tell every one of his teammates whenever he can, hey, I love you.
As you should.
I agree. Dad of 4. He knows how important they are to him. It's his other family. ...2002 third-round pick by the Braves out of high school. And a guy who wasn't sure he'd even see the 10-year mark, which the 10-year mark in itself is so hard and really special to get to. And here he is, back where it all started. Oh, 2, Wendell back up the middle, bouncing base hit.
That's what they teach us. See it right back out the middle, gets the curveball. Morton did not make a good pitch right here. That curveball caught a lot of plate.
And he's gotten into a rhythm here, and I think Charlie knows who's on the other side in that other dugout. It's one of the few curveballs that he left up in the zone that Wendell could get mostly barrel on, drive it right back up the middle.
And to your point, Ross, his 5 strikeouts tonight are all on the curve. Here's Brian Anderson. He grounded to a double play in the 3rd.
In.
So we've got a battle-tested Braves against some Marlins who are trying to still show that they've got some pop and they can play disruptor on the season.
Yeah.
And Anderson has gotten a couple really good swings off on Charlie Morton tonight. Obviously, that ball start the game off the bat, died at the warning track, and then hard hit ball into the double play, but he's gotten some really good swings off.
Check back over here on Wendell.
He must. The Marlins actually lead baseball, 108 stolen bases, a team that likes to run.
He's not afraid to send him. Does that surprise you for a team that's still kind of trying to find their identity?
Kitty.
They appeal. Couldn't hold up.
Well, it is an art form that has been lost as of late. Teams are not running as often as they used to. And in my opinion, they're not running as often as they should. But the Marlins need to find ways to get things moving, to get runners in scoring position and stolen base.
Big swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Charlie Morton. That's not going to move Wendell over. As we take a look back here so far on Charlie Morton, what he's been able to do.
Now, Charlie Morton has the lead. He's been pounding the strike zone, working to his strength, and that's spinning that curveball up there. Got a lot of swing and miss tonight on the curveball. And you see the strikeouts there. Spins one to Brian Anderson. Perfect pitch. Outer third.
Does have a club option for next season.
Anderson missed that pitch by 3 feet. Yeah. Now we must take, look, the curveball is absolutely nasty, but what sets up that curveball is that 4-seam fastball. In other words, it's not the curveball in a vacuum, even though we can say, yeah, it is nasty. But if he did not have that 4-seamer working at the top of the zone, middle in to righties, that curveball loses his nastiness, if that's even a word, because of that tunneling effect.
No.
And Carlos, we talk about adjusting in game, and you could see right there in that at bat, that's what Charlie Morton did, because first AB throws that fastball to Anderson, he drives it, change up the second at bat, gets barrel on it as well, and he goes to the bread and butter in the curveball. This at bat, once he's ahead, and gets the swing and miss.
They're 1 for 10 off the curve tonight.
And we'll say that a lot. You know, 1 for 10 off the curve. The curve is nasty. However, the reason why we missed the curve is not because it moved so much. We miss it because we thought it was a fastball. So keep that in mind. That's the first thing the first reason why we missed those off-speed pitches. That's why tunneling is so important.
He's taken a lot of pride in it. So 1-2 and another set down here for Morton. Back to back again.
Of course, it helps that the thing breaks 5 feet. It does help.
That. He'll take that. And I think that's what's really also set him up for success too, where you'll hear some guys who talk about wanting to have more velo, wanting to have all of these different pieces. I want this guy's changeup. I want that guy's slider. And for Morton, it is those finite moments of I just want these two to look the same.
And perfecting what you're good at, right? And he throws that curveball more than anybody else in baseball, so you know he's going to have a feel for it.
I think pitchers take that next step when they realize that it's not about better stuff, but about utilizing their stuff better.
And we have seen, we mentioned this earlier, reinventing himself a few times. He was a guy who started in the low 90s. He's had upper 90s stuff at one point. He's kind of back down in that true zone. Again, just a crafty veteran who absolutely knows what he's doing. More than 85 pitches, still plenty of room.
Stuff buys you room for error. It certainly does. But when you see pitchers age, you know, Morton getting a little bit older, Wainwright getting a little bit older, not necessarily losing.
Are we sure he's getting older?
Exactly. How do they achieve that? It's because they understand what we talked about. How can I utilize my stuff better? How can I maximize what I got today? Sequencing, tunneling, that's the way to go. The concepts of effective velocity, harnessing all that, that's where pitchers need to go if they want to take that next hump and get better.
And I think knowing, okay, I know what my strength is with the curveball, but the fact that Charlie Morton still averaging 95 miles an hour on that fastball and saying, okay, I can set guys up with the fastball, make them see it, change eye levels, and then here comes the Uncle Charlie. See you later.
If hitters knew that that curveball was coming, they would lay off of it a little bit better. Well, actually, a lot better. And if he left it in the zone, they would hit it more often than not and hit it solid, make solid contact. The reason why there's a lot of miss is because in the back of your mind, you know that at any second he could rush it with a 95-mile-per-hour four-seamer.
Take a look at that velocity over his last 2 seasons.
Outside.
So he falls outside here to J.J. Bleday, and I love it too because Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole just said, man, it comes out so clean. He's talking about that fastball curve combination, but he said, but I got to tell you, that curve is just sick. This is a guy who went from his nickname being Ground Chuck because he got most of his outs on the ground to Charlie freaking Morton.
For the viewer's pleasure and enjoyment, at least for me, I would love to see again the replay of the swing and a miss of Anderson, because he missed it by at least 3 feet. That's how nasty that curveball was. Anderson 100% thought that that was a fastball.
He's got 2 outs here, trying to put a bow on the 6th. 90th pitch, the payoff, and we'll see another. Does that remind you of anybody, whoever may have had you? I mean, we're not trying to bring out the flaws here, but someone you just looked at and you were like, why did I swing when that was 3 feet away?
CC Sabathia gave me the hardest time ever. All right, I think CC may have, has a very good opportunity to possibly be a Hall of Famer, and the reason being that I was in the league, right? I padded his numbers. I actually would be in the Hall of Fame if CC Sabathia did not exist.
3-2 again. Morton loses him here. Colin McHugh's been warming up in the bullpen for the Braves, but here comes the skip. long walk out for Snitker. And you know, for Morton, again, the old vet, he wanted to finish that 6th. But that's going to do it for him tonight. Braves call on the bullpen. 5 2/3. Charlie Morton with a 4-1 lead. Standing O as we head to the break on Friday Night Baseball.
Cause we moving in, yeah. This time I came with friends, yeah. With my team we aim to win, yeah. Right now the show begins. Time to go. It's time to go right now. Get ready.
Charlie Morton's day is done as Colin McHugh takes over. 46th appearance of the season for the righty. Morton 5 2/3. The run line stays open as McHugh inherits 2 here with 2 outs. And the good news is he's retired 35 of the first 45 that he's faced this season, if you're a Braves fan. First pitch, and it's fouled out for LeBlanc, 0-1. McHugh, he's inherited 30 runners on the season and retired 9, and it might not be the loudest outing that Morton has had this year, but again, he leaves with a considerable lead here. And you get the work done. McHugh trying to put this one to rest. It's out here LeBlanc with a double and a walk today. For McHugh, he's turned things around. Had a 6.10 to start the season. His first 10 appearances. Since then, he's cut down to a 197. So numbers still look a little high, but he's been a different person. Two-one into center field. Michael Harris 2 on the run, and he's got it above the head, and he stays running here, but backs up his reliever as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Braves on top.
LG Red with your Apple TV Plus studio update as we get you out to the STL. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs there. Full count to Tyler O'Neill with a line drive to left. Donovan Goldie will score to make it 2-0. St. Louis on top. Mal, you know this team. How about this? The O's and the A's top 5. Tony Kemp with a line drive to center. 2 runs are going to score in this one to tie this thing up at 2 apiece. You're obviously familiar with this run, this magical run that the O's are going on this September. Tell me more about it.
LG, I don't know if I have words, but I can tell you that I keep getting the scoring notifications for that while we're here in Atlanta watching a completely different scenario between the Braves and the Marlins. Orioles trying to upset, but in a little different way than the Marlins are right now. Giving themselves a legitimate shot for Marlins. They're just trying to ruin someone's day. That'll ruin your day. Crowd doesn't like it. An errant pitch for Alcantara.
This one just got away from him. Two-seamer, up and in, trying to get it into No's kitchen, and he lost control of it. That's what you got to do. You just got to turn your back into it. Still, it's going to leave a very nasty mark.
Didn't get the full turn there.
Nah.
Up and under. So the leadoff man aboard with a hit by pitch. Outside, Michael Harris the second. 1 for 2 nights so far.
And we were talking about it going into the break. He made that play in center last inning looked way easier than it actually was. Just glides out there in center.
And I think that's what's so hard for fans sometimes is you see that and you start to think, oh, that's normal. But you put an average defender against that, and you're going to quickly see that gap. Mentioned earlier, he's already got that extension for 8 years. Braves solidifying almost the whole team at this point as he gives another one a ride way up into the stands.
And that ball by LeBlanc hit 105 miles an hour off the bat. And to put him to perspective for people, this isn't a small outfield. Like, this is one of the larger ones in the big league, so you need a guy who can fly out there in center to go get him.
1-2, out to right, heading back. Oh, Michael Harris. That's that extension right there. He extends this one into the crowd. Fans are losing their minds. It's another two-run shot for the Braves, and it's 6-1.
Michael Harris II. What a swing. Saw this pitch. The baseball popped above that fastball line. Harris able to recognize it, and he was all over it. Very clean delivery of the barrel to the baseball. Impeccable timing. Watch right here. You see that curveball pop, off-speed pitch pops above the fastball. Harris recognizes it. So you can see he's got a lot of swag, and that swing with absolutely no obstruction whatsoever. Very clean, very fluid, a lot of rhythm. When you allow a guy like Harris to get hacks on you like that, he's going to produce a lot of damage.
And of course, he comes home flashing the money for that extension right there. The kid who not only is so stoked to be a member of the Braves, but he chases out one of the best pitchers this season. Alcantara's night is done. We're getting rowdy here in Atlanta as Miami calls on the bullpen.
Well, we just saw Michael Harris II launch a two-run home run for the 6-1 Braves lead, and if you notice, his hands are lower now than they were earlier in the year. Take a look at the side-by-side. That's because he made quite the adjustment thanks to Braves hitting coach Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer noticed how high he was holding his hands, and he had an idea. Seitzer told me, I went and I told Michael what I thought. Michael went right to the cage, and he put his hands lower, and immediately Harris said, wait, this feels really good. So he decided to incorporate it into a game. Kevin Seitzer said, wait, I need to call our GM so I don't get fired after drastically changing your swing. He called, he got the go-ahead, and what do you know? Michael came up with a couple hits the first game. He switched up his hands, and the rest is history. And guys, listen to this. Never in his life has he hit with his hands lower than that. So certainly it's working for Michael Harris.
Yeah, that's one of the most astute and profoundly impact changes you've probably seen made that quickly before. As again, Alcantara's day is done. Huáscar Brazoban takes over on the mound. But for Michael Harris II, I mean, you think this kid is special, and there's no question of, oh, this is rookie talent. This is going to run out at some point. He'll hit that wall. Yeah, the kid looks sturdy, to say the least.
And I think Alex Anthopoulos is just fine with Michael Harris II moving his hands, but when you watch him at the plate right now, it's almost like if you flipped Ronald Acuna Jr. into the other box, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, they're very similar, especially that hand placement. Kevin Seitzer, a great hitter himself, giving a young man pretty good advice. It just gets his hands moving. A little bit more rhythm instead of being static with them almost at launch position. Where he starts him low, he's able to get to launch position, creating a little bit more rhythm and fluidity through his swing.
Casaban issues a walk here for Vaughn Grissom in the first batter that he'll face. And this is where you kind of scratch your head a little bit, because for manager Don Mattingly, he said the problem is when it's Alcantara's night to pitch, who do I have that's better than him to come into the game? I don't. And that's not a knock on the bullpen. If anything, that's an elevation of just how ridiculous his season has been.
Yes, Alcantara better than most in the big leagues.
Pitch home misses here to Osuna. He's 2 for 2 on the evening after he boosted to 6 for 16 odds against Alcantara. Oh no, up high, runner goes, the tag, did he go through it? No. Keep the toe on the bag. Vaughn Grissom with the anchor. Mattingly's going to want to take another look at this one.
And you see Vaughn Grissom using every part of that 6'3" frame to stay on the bag there, showing that, yeah, I got some pop, but I can grab a bag there too.
Just his 4th of the season if it stands and they choose to not take a look. We have a replay review powered by Mitel.
See that running, well, kind of hop. He was moving at first base, taking the lead. Let's see.
That toe looks like there's a little gap.
I don't know.
The back foot. That back foot stayed on the bag there.
We have to get all those New York angles in here.
Let's play that game. I'm saying he's out.
I think he's out, but it's close, and you have to have more to overturn the original call.
That is correct. Needs to be enough evidence to overturn the call. If it's indecisive or inconclusive, call stands.
After review, the ruling on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Miami will retain their challenge.
So what is that? The Los Mel team over here won, and Russ, you'll get a point eventually.
Russ lost. Grissom guilty, guilty because of his own incredible speed. You know, he got a great jump at first base. He had the bag. He just could not hold it.
So now with nobody on, and Ozuna fouls off the 2-0.
I want to go back to the that Harris at bat, because you see a guy, Los, we talked about it early in the game, having a plan for a young player. His previous at bat took a two-seamer away, shot it to left field, and then a backup slider from Sandy Alcantara drives out of the ballpark.
You have to go up to the plate with a good plan against elite pitchers. You should do it against every single pitcher, but certainly against elite pitchers, instead of trying to cover the entire strike zone. Today it seems like Harris is trying to go the other way, especially against Alcantara with the fastball, understanding that if anything was hung off speed, he could pull it.
2-2, and Ozuna set down. Let's take another look at that play again. We've got veteran Major League umpire Brian Gorman with us as well this evening. And we know there's always more angles than what we can see. This was a close one here, but what is that winning moment that overturns this?
Well, this is an unintended consequence of the replay system, but the field is very, very smart to keep the tag on him and let his momentum maybe carry him off the base during the slide. So he did a good job with it, and it looks like at the very end his toe came off and the tag was still on there. So they do have a lot more angles than what we have. They have the home. They probably have over 20 angles between the home and away feeds. So and they freeze frame it. They can mosaic where it's side by side with this timing. And they'll have a good shot at him coming off the base.
Fans see that play in the naked eye and they think, oh, that's an easy call one way or another. How tough, though, is that to see every piece of it as it's happening live?
It's probably one of the hardest calls we have because the momentum usually carries him off the base, but it's hard to see, and you have to keep an eye on two different things at the same time. You have to keep an eye on the tag, and then you have to keep an eye on whether he stays on the base. That's why most of these plays go to replay.
And they're taking a long look at it on their iPads in the dugout there.
Oh. I wonder, Brian, if that is, you know, replay as a whole, is that a relief for umpires? Or did you guys
I don't think
not
anybody really. Yeah, I don't think anybody realized some of these plays where the guy can't just stop his momentum on a hard slide. He's coming in there pretty hard, and it's hard to keep your body on the base, especially with a head first slide. So I think generally umpires like replay. They don't want to miss any calls. They want to get them all right.
Well, Brian, as always, we appreciate you breaking down these replays with us, making it make a little more sense.
Appreciate it. That's why I'm here.
Exactly. We got all the officials in here with us as Robbie Grossman earns a walk. Braves since the fourth inning, not being put away easily here by the Marlins. We'll go back to the top of the lineup once again for Acuna Jr. He's got his bobblehead tonight. You get a little extra juice. Looking for his first hit. It's a bat flip bobblehead, by the way.
I need to see one of those.
We'll see if we can track one down for you.
I'm going to rephrase that. I need to get one of those.
It induced the 33rd sellout of the year. There's the first hit and a bat flip for Acuna Jr. going all the way to third, Robbie Grossman. And a game-changing runners on the corners for the Braves. Do you want me to open this up for you?
Ask and you shall receive. Like,
wow.
I know Los was popular, but he can get it that was.
We know some people.
Los knows some people. Knows everybody.
Hey, great swing right here by Acuna, getting a fastball out over the plate. Hits it nice and hard on the ground the other way. A lot of people talk about don't hit the ball on the ground. Hey, a hard hit ground ball has a huge success rate.
They're going to pitch you out there, get a pitch to drive. Even if it's on the ground, you know where the shift is.
Hard hit ground balls, hitters are actually hitting above, well, close to 400 batting average when you hit the ball hard on the ground. 95 miles per hour or, above 95 miles per hour off the bat.
Yeah.
Has a very high success rate.
So now you got your guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just got my Ronald Acuna bat flip bobblehead. Can't believe it got here that quick.
Well, it looks pretty accurate.
Los, can you ask for $1 million? Because it seems like whatever you ask for, it comes true in seconds.
He's got all the yellow gear. He got the shades. And you got the bat flip midair. I mean, what else could you ask for here? Whoa, heads up. Sharp foul ball there for Swanson. So, look at
how about this?
You got him right there.
I couldn't believe how quickly he got here.
He knew they were coming with the bobblehead.
I did not set that up. There's the bat flip. Look.
I mean, it's life imitating art.
Did Ronald have an IFB in, or he heard Los like, all right, let me give one for Los?
Appreciate that, Ronald. Thank you, man. You're my boy.
Trying to create a little more damage here. Swanson with a hit and a run scored on the day.
Speaking of Ronald Acuna, he has put 3 balls in play above 100 miles per hour each. Sometimes you don't get the base hit, but we all know that we were taught, hey, just hit the ball hard. Acuna is certainly doing so. More times than not, you will be successful.
Good.
Swanson fouls another one off here. He's got Acuna hanging out at first, Grossman at third. Of course, that infield loaded on the left side.
But should I say, not more times than not, because in baseball, we know that the odds are stacked against you. Let's just say that it increases your chances. You want to make hard contact when you go up to the plate. That is your goal. Be on time, put the barrel on the baseball, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Swanson sends this one foul. Oh man, we're bringing the cards to the field. This kid's ready. He's got the button, he's got the sticker, the jersey. Oh, we can't drop the card. That's a stage fright. A little stage fright there. Wasn't ready for the spotlight. Side here. So when you talk about trying to square up, you know, you've introduced all of these added advanced analytics for hitting. Launch angle has been that word that you either love or you hate over the last 2 years. I mean, where do you stand with all that?
Launch angle has just been misinterpreted, misunderstood. Launch angle happens after you hit the baseball. We're measuring at the angle the baseball leaves the bat. Now hitters believe that they are, well, some, that you can create that by trying to scoop the pitch from the bottom up.
Swanson set down there, no contact, as it's a strikeout to finally bring the inning to a close. Get those cards ready, though. We'll see who's coming up next when we return with the 7th on Friday Night Baseball.
You know what is awesome? You and Harris fighting for the Rookie of the Year. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's probably going to win that one. He's playing every day.
It's top 5, bro. You never know. Keep working.
Hey, you got 16 punchies last night, and you set a franchise record, but keep working. I don't know. First pitch swinging, Jacob Stallings into right field, and a leadoff hit for the Marlins kicks off the 7th. We mentioned Rosario there, interviewing Strider about a historic night.
And just dot in the bottom of the zone with an easy 99. Slider there. He had everything working, didn't have to do much.
You see that combination of the 99-mile-per-hour fastball paired up with the slider. Absolutely nasty.
One of those nice slopes where if you're in the other dugout, you just got to tip your cap. Like, had it working.
Seriously, it was unbelievable to watch him just mow people down, one after the other.
And I think the impressive thing, he now holds the franchise record for strikeouts in the game. This is a franchise that had Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox, like legends in the game, and that guy with the beautiful mustache and soul patch. Now the Braves record holder.
And he's second only, and you have to kind of put this in perspective because you're 9 innings compared to 15 innings. So you get that little asterisk, but Warren Spahn had 18, but again, it took him a little extra. Strider didn't have to go extras in this one.
Help!
But it's ridiculous. And you ask yourself, we've talked about Ground Chuck, does he stay Quadzilla or does he elevate to a new nickname?
The mustache.
I mean, I've heard Stash Monster too. I mean, this kid's got a lot going for him right now. The character is not short for Spencer Strider. So Colin McHugh back out for a full inning of relief here. Well out to Lewin Diaz. Eight scoreless innings and 106 pitches for Strider. And yet, you still ask, has he separated himself from Michael Harris II, his own teammate, to take home some hardware? Strikeout for McHugh. And one down. And he's not done talking yet, though. We got him more on the mic.
How you feel after 16 strikeout? You're tired?
A little tired.
You're tired? Good for you, man. That's awesome. You have the record now here.
Good for you.
Eddie Rosario, you know, very stoic when he's talking about the historic night. He's going around interviewing his teammates. I like it.
Think they know he's got the mic? Think that was advertised a little bit?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you kind of tell everyone, hey, I'm mic'd. I'm mic'd. Watch your language.
I was just going to say, is that to prevent somebody from saying something, or is that to encourage some chats?
Could go either way.
Russ, are you the guy who's volunteering to be mic'd, or the guy who is
100%.
staying away? Oh, yeah.
100%. Can't be scared of the moment, Mel. I wish mic me next week. Pre-game.
I mean, we technically have you mic'd the whole game right now.
Well, yes, but the good stuff. The good stuff.
You are mic'd.
I am mic'd up right now, but like the fun.
The between breaks.
Yeah, the fights between me and CY, friendly.
Oh, Lord.
Brotherly fights.
Just so you know, Los, please do not bring up Juan Soto ever between the two of them. We'll be okay if that doesn't come up.
What's up with Juan Soto?
No, we love him. I love him. It's the that next contract for Juan Soto. CY feels differently than I do. We have a friendly debate about it, but it's good.
I appreciate public discourse. That's good. We should encourage that.
Yes.
We should be having more conversations openly.
For sure.
I like it.
And we take another look here at this one from McHugh.
It's a ball. It's out of the zone right there.
Payoff into right center. Grossman in, and he has it.
And that's when you, as a hitter, you know, you get a call that didn't go your way. You know, after you fly out, you start thinking about, man, you know, you should have been at first base. But you can't do that. You got to be like, you know what? I got to get back on the at bat. Forget that. That's over. Let me get a good pitch to hit. This next one.
And it definitely changes the dynamic of the at bat, because now you're thinking, all right, now I got to protect. Feeling really good about the at bat, but it's a learning experience for a guy who homered earlier in the game. You've got to adjust in that next at bat.
Ground ball past the reach of McHugh. The defense swoops in, and they wrap it up. Braves get away from the Marlins again here as we head to the stretch. Atlanta, 6-1 lead. September, join Major League Baseball in the fight against childhood cancer. For thousands of children undergoing treatment for cancer each year, the time to help is now. Visit MLBcommunity.org to learn more. And we mentioned this at the beginning of the game, but everybody today, it's the 7th annual recognition of childhood cancer. So you see the gold ribbons, the gold accessories, the armbands, just brought out really to raise awareness of so many kids who right now might not have the chance to be at the game. They're watching it on TV from their beds while they're currently fighting one of the worst things out there in cancer. And it's been awesome to watch how many guys have banded together. They've formed different foundations. They've pitched in where they could. Even if it's just spending time with these kids, it's a huge impact. So we start at the bottom of the 7th, and a new reliever for the Marlins, Cole Sulser. See there, his 33rd appearance of the season, a 5.08 ERA. It's up a little bit this year for the Dartmouth product. 1-0 up and in. His brother Bo, a reliever in Baltimore. You know, I had to throw that out there, but it was Bo who actually taught Cole his split change. And the two said Thanksgiving gets a little interesting in the Sulser household, as they both went to an Ivy League and have the education to back up learning their pitching. So Sulser gets 3, 4, and 5. Austin Riley at the number 7 for the Braves. They're going to run out of ammo by the time this game ends.
Riley having a very nice season. Put a nice swing on this baseball. Sky high, just barely got over the wall. Encarnacion had a beat on it, but couldn't time it.
Heredia loves those swords. That might be the prized possession for him.
Gotta love those celebrations.
And I'd have to, I mean, you know, we see some that get reused and repurposed and twisted by teams. It's inevitable. But I don't think the swords in general, let alone pink plastic ones, have ever been a thing for anybody else.
No.
You had, what was it, a lightsaber for Sean Doolittle when the Nationals had their run.
Yeah, the boys can get very creative.
So the other, we keep saying this, it's another young phenom. Most of the lineup is that way for the Braves. Hard hit ground ball into the shift. The play at first in time. But Austin Riley, it's just been home runs for days for the Braves tonight.
The Braves having a big night offensively, and you knew Austin Riley who was having a quiet night so far, had to get in on action, get the changeup out over the plate, and he's so big and strong, can drive it out, even after not necessarily getting the entire barrel on it, but being able to drive it out. And Encarnacion thought he had it just out of his reach.
I mean, you don't doubt the effort there.
Oh, absolutely not.
Maximum air.
You saw that circle changeup grip. Riley was all over it.
And you know, Riley seeing these young guys, Grissom, Harris second, hitting the ball. Hey, I'm pretty good too now.
He jumped on the board this year with another big contract after Matt Olson. And we told you we've had home runs for days. Travis d'Arnaud contributed with the first one of those in the 4th.
Yes, this ball was given a ride.
Hammered.
Yeah, you see that exit velocity, 107 miles per hour off the bat.
Lifts this one into center field. Oh! Put it in the books. The Braves are going off the rails tonight. It's a 2-jack kind of night for d'Arnaud. Oh, wait for it. There you go. And go on home.
You gotta love it. 2 home runs. Those multi-homer nights. I miss those.
Pretty good.
This one to the opposite field. d'Arnaud, one of those good hitting catchers, hits for power, is able to handle the bat well. Always gives a good AB.
6th career multi-home run night. They might break those swords by the end of this one. It's the 5th for the Braves this evening as Diaz holds off his pitcher. Here goes and makes the out. Mira.
What a swing. Blagata. Fastball in the heart of the plate. d'Arnaud was all over it. Perfect timing. When you have perfect timing, you optimize your mechanics, your power output. Yeah, he's all smiles. There's Ron Washington.
As if he hasn't been buttered up enough tonight. He's had some nice handshakes over there.
I don't know. I mean, we're talking about who's got the most swag? The coach with the most swag? Hey, man, Ron Washington is way up there.
Rosario told him. It's all you.
Another baseball lifer. One of the best coaches I've ever had. Had him as the manager in the Winter League for Los Tigres del Licey. He likes to work. Had me out there early every day.
Licey, that's a powerhouse team. You get that job over the winter. That's a pretty big one.
Indeed.
And guys, you think about this pennant chase now for the Braves. They're the reigning World Series champions, and a lot of talk for good reason about the Dodgers and the Mets, what they're doing. Phillies getting back into it, Cardinals, but they're like, hey man, We're the reigning champs. And until you knock us off, and they're showing people right now, you go through a lineup with Acuna and Swanson and Riley and Olsen and Darno saying, well, I'm here too, and Harris, Grissom saying, well, we're here too. Like, this is a deep lineup. They can do a lot of things well.
2-2 on the ground, picked by Wendell. Foul ball. You play it out anyway. And you can't forget either, Ozzy's coming back. Started rehabbing yesterday.
All-star William Contreras, like they can roll off some names at you.
Take another look at this close one. An inch. Don't leave that up for second judgment, though.
Grissom knew it was a foul ball. With that speed, there was no chance he was going to get thrown out at first base. A little close for comfort, though.
2-2 again, and this time Sulcer wins it out. Goes with a slider for a strikeout, but not before the Braves terrorize the Marlins again.
Look at that!
Darno!
It's a great swing. Look at this one right here, going the other way. Darno, hats off.
Back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by ZipRecruiter. Melanie Newman alongside Carlos Pena, Russell Dorsey, and Tricia Whitaker here at Truist Park, just outside of Atlanta. The Braves going through their bullpen now as Jesse Chavez takes over to start the 8th. We told you how Charlie Morton started his career. He's come back with the Braves as he's going to make his own out. A little air Chavez here as he gets to play over to first. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire, and sponsored in part by SoFi. Bank, borrow, invest, all in one app. And by Hotels.com, find your perfect somewhere. Well, the perfect spot for Chavez was right here. He gets his own out as he retires Joey Wendell. Brian Anderson now up. We can't tell you anything here right now.
Look at this play right here. Chavez showing pure athleticism right there. Talk about outside PFP. Not getting overlooked. Right here it pays off. PFP, pitchers field and practice.
It's a lot of time in spring training working on that, Los.
Yes, and it's not fun, but you still have to do it. It's so monotonous and repetitive, but you have to do it in these plays like that. One pitch, one out. Thank you very much. Gotta be able to field your position.
So before he turned this on his head, the Braves were really excited to go out and bring him back as a hard hit ball, but foul to right. So he's similar to a Morton. You know, Matt Olson wasn't a member of the organization, but he's brought back home. And this was a guy that they really prioritized, and some people might have scratched their heads at it, but just another veteran presence who can really contribute day in and day out. Colin McHugh, an inning and a third to his line, a strikeout and a hit.
Out.
And for the Marlins, this is tough because you were sending in your 3 best starters for the series, but you no doubt had the best going tonight. Their rotation right now, it's all of their winners, guys who are above the 500 mark to take on the Braves this series. But you kind of have to go back to the drawing board tomorrow. And for the Braves, they've got a tough schedule ahead of them too. Ground ball here, sliding stopper, Swanson to first. This defense just keeps getting it done.
Very nice play here by Swanson. He sees the bounce, understands what he needs to do, and then executes it to perfection. Look how he finishes it off with a strong throw. Right on the money.
Yeah, your first baseman likes that.
We love it.
Outside. Cooper.
Melanie, to your point, we have seen the season that Sandy Alcantara has had, but sometimes you're just not going to have it, and he didn't have it tonight. But there are several times that you're going to look up, you're going to see 9 innings pitched, you're going to see 5 hits or less, and he's going to give the Marlins a chance to win. And so, you know, you have those nights, and you just got to pick your guy up and go about your business.
Well, and again, this was a guy who went back-to-back appearances against the Braves in May. 17 innings, 1 earned run. It's just ridiculous. But you also look at this. Tonight, his ERA goes from a 2.13 to a 2.62. Are you reading into that as a voter?
You got to let the rest of the month play out. For me, I voted for Cy Young in 2020, and that season it was Trevor Bauer and Yu Darvish going neck and neck, and it was 1 start for Yu Darvish. We gave up, I think, 4 earned runs, and it gave Bauer the edge. But, you know, it could be that 1 start that makes it different in one of these races. What Michael Harris II's doing in the Rookie of the Year race with Spencer Strider going neck and neck. Like, that's one of those situations you say, do you have co-Rookie of the Years? So voters looking at a lot of different things when he gets to this time of the year.
Payoff, and he loses Cooper. So a 2-out walk will extend the inning here. So we've already seen a ridiculous play for Chavez on the mound to get the first out of this inning. But he was practicing a little bit of those ups while he was still in the bullpen.
What do you mean?
Take a look at d'Arnaud's home run.
And who is that?
He's
the guy on the mound.
He's all over the place.
The adrenaline's up for.
Ball's just going in. He's going to get it wherever it is. Glove's got a magnet. I feel like that has to be pretty hard. You're in a small confined space. You don't really know where it's going.
You didn't see it off the bat. He was warming up.
Yeah. And then he got really warmed up. All right, I'm good for the first out. That was great practice.
Now it's no surprise that he made that first play of the inning. He was already loose.
Here's a PFP, practice catching home runs in the bullpen. 0-2, and this one gets away. Cooper advances to second. So the Marlins had jumped out ahead. An Encarnacion leadoff home run in the 3rd, but it's been all Atlanta since. One-two to J.J. Bleday, and Chavez sets him down. Another strikeout for the Braves' arms as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Atlanta by 7.
Lauren Gardner with your Apple TV Plus studio update. Let's get you out to Queens. 6th inning, 3-3 the score until this happens. Are we surprised? The home run king himself, Pete Alonso, with his 32nd bomb of the season. Mets now with a 7-3 lead there in Queens against the Nats. So earmuffs, Braves fans.
Well, the good news is Brian Snitker said they're not paying attention to the Mets anyways. But, you know, I think one thing I've loved from this week about New York is the joke that they were going to replace that Big Apple, and every home run, Timmy Trumpet was just going to come out on the platform and start playing.
I was there the other night when Diaz came out of the pen and Jimmy Trumpet was playing live. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Had you ever seen a live performance at a ballpark?
This was absolutely crazy. I mean, the way the stadium explodes and the energy, the intensity, and then Diaz embodies that. He gets up on the mound like a charging bull and gets a job done.
Here's 103.
Unbelievable. Yeah. 103 miles per hour.
That's who the Braves have got to track down. Right back, and a tough play there for Ozuna as it's one down. Well, you can suit up this summer at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Outfit the whole family with your favorite team's gear at MLBshop.com. So Ozuna retired, in comes Robbie Grossman. Raisel Iglesias warming for the Braves. It's lefty Richard Blyer on for the 8th for the Marlins. If you'll remember, let me take you back in time here to one of the weirdest years of baseball. The Marlins lost 12 of their pitchers during that COVID-shortened season. And so Blyer was a midnight deal as they just desperately needed to have arms in that bullpen. He's been a pretty steady member since. Florida Gulf Coast product. Not too far from where he started.
And Mel, you talk about it. Sometimes you get that opportunity, go to a place, start fresh, and Blyer been really good since he's come over and been a stabilizer in that bullpen.
And it made some fans panic because he was kind of a guy, he was not a scrub by any means. This was somebody seen as a reliable lefty, and it went, wait, what are you doing? Ow. I don't care that another team needs help. Why are we giving up our guys here? But Blyer's fit right in.
You heard Don Mattingly talk about the fact that pitching is not the problem.
Yes! And there's a strikeout, so to your point. We'll take a look here, though, as the Marlins are trying to mess with these odds here behind some of that good pitching. How the Mets and the Braves have woven a tangled web this season. The odds started with Atlanta. They got real close in the middle of July. And right now it just keeps trending upward for New York. And that buy is huge if you get it. You take a look there, so that's not a score that they're going to want to pay attention to. Snicker doesn't even want that on the screen.
Snicker doesn't care, flat out.
Nope.
In his mind, the graph shows a bullish trend. And that's all he thinks of.
And it's not a company line either. I mean, he's hard on his sleeve, does not care.
We asked him specifically about the Mets, and he says, I'm not even worried about him. I'm just caring about the fact that tonight we have a ball game to win.
We mentioned they've only got 9 home games left on the regular season. 3 of those are with the Mets. This place is going to be falling apart at the hinges. I mean, just they continue to have some of the most dominating fan presence since this new ballpark was built.
2-1.
But you look at how much that rivalry has developed this season. Again, 33rd sellout for the Braves and another season high. Not much worries for these guys tonight, though. They're keeping it loose.
And for the Braves, looking up at the Mets, but it's only a 3-game gap. And there are going to be games that they're going to go head to head, so they can hold on until then, close, maybe cut it down to less games, and then define their own destiny against the Mets.
They've got the 7th easiest schedule remaining as a 2-2 drilled into right, and it's foul. And they've got 3 here, a day off, 2 with Oakland, and another day off. It's kind of a nice start to September.
And that's why, to Brian Snicker's point, you have to worry about you, because you got to play who's on your schedule. Like we don't play the Mets schedule. They got to do their own thing. If you win the games that you're supposed to win, you're going to give yourself a chance. And yes, control your own destiny, which you would rather do as a team. You don't want to put your future in somebody else's hands.
Acuna Jr. Can it be out to center field? It's not out, but it's missed by Blade as it rolls back. He's going to stop at second. And a double Acuna with back-to-back hits. You think they love that guy?
Let's watch him right here. Hits the ball pretty good, right center field, but see how he's hobbling a little bit? And look, he's going to have to pace himself because of the knee. He has to be smart. They want him as healthy as possible. Snicker talked about the fact that it's going to hurt. They got 30 more games to play, including this one. And they're going to have to make sure that he is healthy some way, somehow. But structurally, everything looks good, and that's the important part.
And they've been wanting to tell him, hey, on a play like that, get 2. You don't have to try to leg out a triple there, which when he's healthy, he would have been eyeing third base. You just can't do that right now. So like you said, it looks like they're going to DH him. They want him to be healthy enough, get through this season, and then get back to being the Ronald Acuna Jr. that we see when he's healthy, being a potential 40-40 guy.
And part of what you don't usually see, but you do right now, is the fact that those breaks take a little longer to put in because he can't slam it the way he usually would at second. That's going to be so much more painful.
And when watching this back, Snit's going to tell him, hey, man, you can hit the brakes a little sooner than you did there.
Oof. Right there is so difficult. I mean, he is putting all his weight. And the pain, it's really unbearable. I mean, you heard him talk about how much it bothered him. But he's trying to show up and play.
Well, he's got a double and a 2-hit night, and his team an 8-1 lead over the Marlins. Last call, Miami, when we come back. By ZipRecruiter, Melanie Newman alongside Carlos Pena, Russell Dorsey, and Trisha Whitaker at Truist Park, home of the Braves. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Braves fans looking on, I don't think you got any reason to be worried right now. It's a nice lead that they have over the Marlins as they head into the 9th and call on Raisel Iglesias to take over the pitching duties. 52nd appearance. That ERA up just a little bit for the flamethrower. The Braves closer situation has not been as locked down as it was last year on their championship run. Should mention that Guillermo Heredia, by the way, is taken over for Marcell Ozuna in left. 0-2 and a strikeout for Iglesias. He retires for LeBlanc, 1 down.
Sandy Alcantara started this game for the Marlins, and the NL Cy Young frontrunner was not quite as sharp as we've seen him. You see Darno there, his first of 2 homers tonight. Fastball that leaks out over the inner part of the plate to Grissom, and then close it up with Michael Harris II, who's had a great night. Another slider that backs up, stays in the zone, drives out of the ballpark, and you don't see this too often from Sandy Alcantara. It's just one of those nights.
13 hard hit balls allowed tonight.
Hard hit for the Marlins this time into no man's land. 3 Braves out. Vaughn Grissom is there. 2 down. I mean, what are you telling this team tonight or tomorrow if you're Don Mattingly?
This was a disappointing loss, and that's if the Braves are able to lock it in, as they're trying 1 out away of doing so. It's just to keep on working. And you could tell Don Mattingly's frustration because he understands the talent that he has. He also wants to win there in Miami, and he wants to be part of it. So he wants to do it sooner than later. This is one of those you have to throw in the garbage and come back tomorrow.
And I think also a learning experience, because for young guys down there, you see a guy like Sandy Alcantara, who's a front runner for Cy Young, and hey, that guy has bad nights too. And you know what Sandy's going to do? He's going to go back, throw this one away, come out in 4 days and try to go 9 innings again. Same thing we've seen from all year long.
That's precisely what Don Mattingly was talking about, is that Alcantara is one of these guys that is the same one if he pitches well or if he has a rough one. Tomorrow, he's going to be in the gym, and he's an absolute beast in the gym.
He's outlifting both of you, is what I've heard.
He goes absolutely nuts working out. So staying with the routine, keep him working hard, even despite the start, is very important.
1-2, and Iglesias with a fastball outside here. Crowd on their feet, looking for that final out.
Mel, I like how you slid that in, outlifting me in.
Well, because I saw the reaction when Mattingly mentioned that routine. The 2 of you perked up a little bit. 2-2, and we'll go to a full count.
See that fastball you're talking about, Mel, 97 miles per hour. The ball comes very nicely out of Iglesias' hand. It's effortless power.
Trying to put this one in the books. Payoff. And he sets him down. Iglesias goes to the changeup. And the Braves with a big 8-1 win to open up this series against Miami.
A lot of things going right tonight for the Braves. They get contributions up and down the lineup. Acuna, Swanson, Riley getting in on the action. Darno with 2 big homers. Harris, Grissom.
And you mentioned it, Russ. Tonight's SoFi Player of the Game is Travis d'Arnaud. What's tougher than catching a ball game? How about you go out there and you just destroy baseballs while you're at it?
Loud contact, great swings right here. Pulled one to left, and then the last one was to right center field, showing that he can go deep from line to line. Special talent.
We take a look here again at Statcast, powered by Google Cloud. I think they had enough home runs.
Yeah, they did pretty well, and I think the thing I'm really impressed about tonight with the Braves hitters, they knew who they were facing. Sandy Alcantara, NL Cy Young frontrunner, and they had a good plan at the plate, caught some pitches out in front, sliders that backed up, fastballs that leaked out over the plate and hit them hard.
And it's just been another one of those. You don't take these games for granted because you always think of the fact that, oh, this team doesn't have as great of a winning record. We've got this in the bag. That's where you sometimes see some teams trip up. But we've got that SoFi Player of the Game, Travis d'Arnaud. He's down on the field with Trisha Whitaker.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. All right, Travis d'Arnaud, your 6th multi-home run career game. Tell me how locked in you were at the plate tonight.
I got good hitting coaches, good coaches. Just got me locked in for today, and Sandy's one of the best pitchers in the game, and I got lucky.
Michael Harris, 2 for 4, a couple RBI. He doesn't look like a rookie, does he?
No, he does not. He carries himself really well, and his baseball IQ is through the charts. So I'm happy he's on my team, and I don't have to try to call a game against him.
Charlie Morton, tell me how well he was throwing the ball tonight.
He was battling today, truthfully. Sorry, I spit everywhere. But he was battling today, and for him to go deep into the game and 5 2/3 innings for us was huge, and only give up 1 run. So kudos to him for battling and showing the team and the stadium what kind of heart he has.
This team right now, sum up what's special about them in the stretch, September, in that postseason hunt.
Oh yeah, we're all excited. We love this month of baseball and next month of baseball. Sorry, I spit again. But we're looking forward to it, and it's good to be up 1-0 in the series against these guys.
When you have your 6th multi-home run career game, you're allowed to spit a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Travis, congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Trisha, yeah, you know what? You're allowed to. They're spitting on the competition tonight. Well, keep it locked here on Apple TV Plus as the Phillies are in the Bay Area taking on the Giants in our nightcap. Friday Night Baseball returns next week with another doubleheader at 8 Eastern, an AL Central battle as the Guardians invade Minneapolis to take on the Twins. At 9:30, we'll see the Braves again in the Pacific Northwest. They square off with the Mariners. For Carlos Pena, Russell Dorsey, and Trisha Whitaker, I'm Melanie Newman. Stay tuned for Friday Night Baseball postgame coverage from the studio presented by SoFi. On behalf of our whole crew, have a great Friday. We will see you next time.